Alright, good afternoon folks. Today we're going to have a look at 2013 in the DB mock exam paper, and it's question 3. Okay, and we're going to draw this using the isometric scale method, which is this guy here. Alright, usually this is a faster method and I actually prefer it to the isometric. Now, because this is a mock paper, they have screwed it up as they do sometimes. So, there is a missing little detail here, and that is that the angle in here is 30 degrees. Alright? Or some number, but I'm going to call it 30. So, once we have that, we can kind of begin to piece all the other bits together. Okay, so step 1, draw my axes. Step 2, get my scale in place. We'll build it all up and we'll deal with the curve a little bit towards the end of the drawing, when we have the base in place. So, off we go. Now, your axes, this should be nice and comfortable stuff to you at this stage. Make sure I can be seen here clearly. Okay, so isometric axes using your 30-degree sketch square. This is going to be like the front here, and this is the side. So we often use our isometric scale. Now, using your isometric scale is a lovely little technique, not too bad to do. I'm sure we're here. Okay, this is our actual ones, and it's a 45-degree line. And then we use our scale. And that's your scale. And it is, of course, a 30-degree line. Put the actual measurements there, drop them down, off you go. Now, first of all, I want to draw the overall crate that it fits in. And that just helps me catch any little slips or mistakes along the way. It is going to be, well, if it's radius 40, diameter 80, so it's 80 wide, 40 across, and up it's going to be 30 and 40 and 55, which means it's going to be 125 high. And feel free to write all over your exam paper like this too. It can be easy, just instead of trying to remember it all. So we'll get these 3 ones down here. I don't like to put them all at once. It can get a bit confusing and chaotic. So I just bring them in as I need them. So there's 40, 80, and 125. Okay. And it's a good idea, only takes a second, write them down here, because if you get 10 or 12 of them all lined up, it can actually be kind of annoying and you end up having to go back and remeasure them to check what's what. Okay, like we could have 42 and 35 as well in some drawings, and you can't just look at them and guess. So there we go. We'll transfer these measurements across, and we transfer them with our compass. There we are. It's 125 high. All right, 80 across the front and 40 wide. And I'm drawing this little line here to make sure I know that the compass is touching at the accurate point. It's hard to see where your compass is, and it can quite easily be off by a few millimeters. Right. And you don't need to measure anything else apart from those 3, because you can do all of your projections with the 30-degree set square. And this is one of the things that makes this drawing very fast. And as you'll see later on, if we can begin to project around the drawing with this guy, it really gets fast. Now, I often like to just knock out that extra bit of line. And it's a construction line, so it goes away easily. Just makes the top cleaner, one less thing to kind of trip yourself up on. All right, so what else are we going to need? Now, I realize, again, I know this from doing this, that's set at 40 already, so I'm going to put a line up the center. Because I can see that this is symmetrical. I'm going to have a curve at the top, so I'm going to need that point. No harm to throw this in while I'm on a roll. Okay, now, how do we deal with this little guy at the front? Okay, so you can see there's 3 sections to it. This one is set in, so it's going to be annoying to do on its own. That's a curve, so it's going to be a little bit annoying. So I'll do the bottom one first. Now, it's going to be annoying because we don't have that dimension available to us. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw the front of it, and we're just going to measure it. So we'll do it up here. Now, if you spot this, you may realize that, of course, you don't need to draw the whole thing, but let's just assume you don't. You haven't noticed that? It's not a big deal. Okay, there we are, 80 across. It comes up on this end by 15. The whole thing is going to be 30 high. All right. Again, if I've measured it that side, I'll just send it up and check these across. Okay, so we can put in this as heavy thing here. That's your edge. Now you don't actually have to draw this in heavy because it's only construction. I'm just doing it to help make it a bit easier to see. So there's the top. And it goes across. And at this point you might have realized, oh, actually I don't really need the other side because the whole thing is symmetrical. All right, what I'm going to take is this measurement from here to here. All right. That's what I'm going to transfer, because if I knew how far that was, I'd have the start of the line, the end of the line, and I'd be sorted. Now there's two ways to do it. One is to measure it. Okay, so you can see it's there about 25, 26 mil. Or the other one is just do it with your compass. There we go. Okay. Call it X, will we? So we know what it is, and we can project that down. So now before I can begin to use that one, I need to know where the top of that section is. Now if I look at my drawing, I'll see that it's 30 high. So let's get 30 on the drawing as well. And I'm also going to need my 15 little step up there. Okay, that was 15 high. You can see it in the drawing, so I'll mark that in here. 15. Now we're good to go. So it's getting a little fiddlier with the compass. That's why you want to have your compass nice and sharp. So we'll come up by 30. Okay, and that can just project across. No need to mark it on the other end. Actually, more accurate not to mark it on the other end. There's 15 high. And this guy is going to be how far in we come along that line. I'll just draw the line in first so I know where it's going to be. So there it is there. Just a light little construction, because now I have this point. And I can see how far it's going to be in along there. If we set, I can't remember if we set this to it. There it is. Mark. And mark. Okay, so this is how we handle an angled line. Don't try and calculate what the angle is going to be. Definitely it is not 30. Alright, so don't start putting it in directly on the drawing. It's not that hard to actually get the beginning and the end. And I do give you this little twist every now and then where you have to draw a tiny section of it. As you can see, it's not super hard to draw. Okay. Most definitely not 30 degrees. Okay, and just for your information, it's also not 60. Okay, it's not like you can add them up. So when we have that one in, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. We can pick up this rectangle here that just comes straight across. Okay, I don't need to be redrawing all these things because I can just keep projecting. All right. Again, where's the back going to be? So what am I going to do here? I'm going to come around like we did a little crate. Just across there. That does not look parallel. Let me double check that. No, it's happy. We go back along here. Now, there we are. So you can see that this is where the top kind of outline would be. If we were to slice it at this line here, it's that whole section. And that means it's really easy for me to figure out where this is. Straight across. Now, that one's going to be invisible, so I won't draw that in. And that one is going to probably disappear. We'll leave that as a construction line for the moment, okay? We'll leave that in as construction. I'm not sure how much I can see. Connect the dots. And the useful little thing is that is parallel to that. And sometimes that's a crucial part of the puzzle. Okay, so now I have my little base. Where to next? Well, let's come up. Why not? So we need to come in a little bit. And we know it's 20 wide. That's a center line. And the whole thing is 40 wide. So it's in 10 each side. Okay, and we're going to come up by 40. Now, if you've noticed, the little danger signal here is that that's only 30 wide. So this is not out in our face. It's set in a little bit. All right, 10. Kind of annoying. Definitely annoying to do with your compass. So when I do this guy, I'm going to project it down. Oops. Properly, and I'm going to measure it. Okay, and I just know from doing this before that 10 converts to approximately 8. It's only approximate, okay, but it's good enough for our drawing. So what we'll do is come in by 8 each side. It's too fiddly to do it at that size with your compass. And if you can, fair play to you. It's not impossible. Okay, so this is going to be in like that. And I won't bother drawing that one because I know it's going to be hidden. We come up by 40. So actually, I'll draw this as a heavy line because I can see it is going to be heavy. Okay, and you can see that this little step here is going to be part of it. And 40 we have measured. So we'll just go back and take that. So with any vertical lines, I'll get us a vertical one here. Now we can mark along it. There we go. Up by 40. So again, to make life easier, what I'm going to do is we'll come up from each of the other corners. Up we come. We'll project across. And there it is. Now, I have a feeling that a little bit of this is going to be hidden. So in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have gone heavy on that one. So I'm just going to go and make this up as a construction. Back across it goes, up from here, and there's my other corner. So I'll just give it little dots so we can see them. Back is definitely hidden. I think this top piece is going to come out over it a little bit, so we'll wait to see how that actually comes together. Again, you can see some little bits and pieces here. Like that little line we can draw in there. Yeah, that's going to go back to it. This guy here is going to go back. And if you're not sure about them, you can put them in at the very end. Okay. So now we've got to draw the top piece. Well, first of all, I'd like to see where it actually is sitting. Okay. Because it is that little bit thinner. Now 5 is going to be a nightmare to draw. So let's see, is there an easier way to do this? Frankly, there's probably not. So what we're going to have to do is come in by 5. Now, and as you can imagine, we'll put this on here to show it, but of course it is going to convert to 4 because 10 goes to 8. So I'm going to use 4 millimeters to come in for that bottom one there. Okay, so come in by 4. All right. So that is what this top section is going to look like. And I'm drawing it on the top because I definitely know where the top of it is. Okay, how tall is it? From there to there, it's going to be 40 plus, what's this little bit here? Oh, 55, I have it there. So I'll just take this line here and I'll drop a line down there. We do need, turns out we do need 55, that's all right. Now, what you might have noticed is I could somehow bring this one back out, or I could come up 40 from there. Look, there's not much in it. You know, I wouldn't get worried about trying to perfectly optimize that. It only took me about 10 seconds to draw that 55, so it's not worth worrying about. So we'll come down by 55 here. At a glance, this drawing looked nice and straightforward, almost too easy, but there is a little bit of challenge to it. So bring that down. Okay, so that's the side. Just bring that down and this across. So now we can begin to see so you see that little bit is hidden. So this section from here to here, here to here, is the face that the curve is going to live within. All right. I did my 40mm division. I'm actually going to rub that line out because there's going to be a lot happening here. I don't want that to confuse me. I will keep this. And I'm just going to put it on the main section. I'm going back and down. So that is my halfway line. So this is one half and this is the other half. Okay, so we have our little bits and pieces in place. I may as well do a little bit of housekeeping because I know it's a that goes straight across, which means I'll just put this one in place. If nothing else, for the sheer satisfaction of it. There we go. And that one is going to come up to there. Okay. And again, there. Now there is another reason apart from the satisfaction, is that it does remind me where exactly things are. Okay, I need to find the bottom bit of it, so I need to come up 15, and again that would be a good idea to put in place because it's one of those areas you could slip and draw the whole curve face, a lot of work on the wrong bit. So we'll come up from there. That line actually went off a small bit when I was projecting back, so we'll fix it there. This is not a heavy line going across, but I do need to know where it is. Okay, it's coming down from that little bit there. And we'll send this back. Now, what we have here, this is what we call a tangent edge. So that line is tangent to the curve and it goes into it. At the moment, we will draw those as a normal edge. Strictly speaking, they're a medium weight line between a heavy and a light line. But for junior cert, a normal edge is fine. So now I can see a little bit more clearly where this is going to go. Okay, so this step, I need to make a construction first. I'll draw the curve. I only need half of it. So what we'll do is I'll just draw, doesn't really matter which half, but I'll draw the half like that. Now, I would say scale this drawing. Okay, there's two ways to do it. One is to draw it real. Take the measurements you take from this, put them over here, scale them and bring them up. Or you scale this guy, you can go straight across, which is easier, I think. That is 40 in radius, so we're scaled 40. And there, okay. There we are. So that is our scaled 40. Now, again, there's two ways to do this. You can do pizza slices, or you can do what we call ordinates. Now, I think the ordinates are much easier to work with. So if we have a look at this, I need to make two vertical lines. Okay, so I'll have this point here. It's fine. This point here. So you can see those ones in the drawing. That's going to be a point there, a point there, and a point there. I need two more in the middle. Same way we get two 30-degree slices if we're drawing an ellipse. So I just need them reasonably evenly spread out along here. So what we'll do is, if I take real numbers in the scale, it's fairly handy to copy them. So you can see that's going to be, we'll use 25 and we'll use 15. Now they're not always even across the base, and just watch what happens when I draw these in. I just know from a little bit of practice that that'll give me 2 points that are reasonably evenly spaced. They don't have to be perfect, okay? They don't have to be perfect, but just fairly even. So this was 15 mil and that was 25. And I just chose nice even numbers because I can replicate them very easily over here. All right, I measured out from the center. Okay, so there we are, out from the center. 15 and 30, and then another 10. Okay, so I'll do this 25 and 50. So that gives me those two lines. I'm going to put these in green. Actually, I'll put them in pencil for the moment. I'm going to highlight the length in green. So you can see this is how I'm going to get my information across. Okay, these guys are called ordinates. Two ordinates together, two lines crossing, makes a point, hence coordinate geometry. Okay, what I do know about these guys is the size of them. Because it's already scaled, I can copy directly. So you see, I can bring it straight across there and there. And I can shorten the other one down. That height goes over to here and here. And there I have it. And as you'll notice, it kind of goes down quite steeply, so you want to be careful you make sure this point is far enough towards that edge, otherwise it can be just annoying. But if you missed it and you need another one there, you just go put another one in. It's actually not too hard to do. So this, I'll just put this in a little bit of green. Those are my two ordinates that I've used to find the points on the curve. Okay, I won't draw the other ones in, but they're the same thing. Now, that gives me these points. I'll make them nice and clear for the video. And there we have it. Okay, just try to get a nice clean line. Okay, and if it's really driving you mad, put another point in there and you can just see where it goes. So now I see where the line is. I can heavy that in. You can use your judgment to make it look as it kind of should. See the way it curves around like that. All right, now you've done all your hard work and there's only a tiny bit left to do, and it's quite easy. What we're going to do is we're going to project back from each of these points. Okay, that one is obviously to there. This point goes back. At some point I'm losing this one and I can just eyeball a tangent edge like that. We're going to come back by the total width of it. You can measure this in your drawing or you can take it straight off there, sorry, on your scale. And that is the back. That's it there. There we go. This one's kind of hard to get, but we'll put it about there. Okay, and you can see if you really wanted another one here, just sketch it in and take it. If you want your back curve to match your front curve. And sometimes it's as easy just to do that. Oops, sorry, fix that there. There we go. So again, I'm just really watching the front curve and we'll get that tangent edge in. It's fine to just pick that up. And now we'll just go over this heavy. And there we have it. Okay, so there is a lovely little isometric scale drawing. What you're going to do before you wrap up, you're going to write your time in lovely big letters on top of this one. And this is one you can look at my timer here, 23 minutes. Nice amble chat about this, no stress, comfortably within our kind of time. All right, best of luck and off we go.